Hello, my fellow listeners. Welcome. Welcome to my world. My name is Amani, and you are now listening to the Vagary Tapes podcast. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it. So today I am joined with a very, very close friend, good friend of mine, Viv.
Hey.
Hey, girl. So, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm solid. I'm actually really, really good.
Good.
Yeah, and you?
Oh, I'm doing good, you know. Just chilling, sipping on my cup of coffee.
Ooh, got that caramel macchiato on
Yes,
deck.
the Starbucks. It's real.
It is.
So, to let the viewers, or not the viewers, but the listeners know, how do we know each other? When did we meet?
Long story short, we met through Craigslist.
Yeah.
We wanted to be, I guess, spontaneously irresponsible and find a place to live through Craigslist.
You know, New Girl is my favorite sitcom. It's like one of my favorite sitcoms, right?
I embody Schmidt. Like, he is me.
I don't know why I thought you were gonna say the female character. And you went straight for Schmidt. But you know what? I totally see it.
You see it.
I
You
see it. You're
right?
absolutely Schmidt.
I'm 100% a Schmidt. I'm not afraid to admit it. I mean, with like a sprinkle in a little bit of CC, but that's it.
Oh, yeah.
On account of the whole Middle Eastern.
Oh, I see it.
Oh. But yeah, no, Craigslist. We found this ad and decided to move in with 8 strangers. And very quickly
know each other.
Became not strangers. Honestly, one of the best decisions, though, because some of the greatest memories came out of that living experience.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
And I got you out of it as well, so. Yes, but we were living in a house full of strangers. We were strangers to each other, kind of, but not really, but like kind of. It may sound like the introduction to another sitcom that, or not even sitcom, like a show that like most people know, like a reality show. Right? It kind of sounds like the real world.
Yeah, it was literally a house, a co-ed house with, I think it was 5 guys, 4 girls, total 9 people.
Yes.
5 guys, 4 girls.
Yeah.
And it was really eventful.
Very.
And
lots of personalities.
Lots of
There's a
fun
hot tub.
mixtures.
There's a hot tub, a lot of drinking, and a whole month filled
just smoking
and getting high.
Family trips to the dispensary. Yes. But you know what? Some of the best conversations came out of that. Let me tell you.
Yes.
But like, can we just talk about the fact that we literally went to the same school, knew the same people?
Yes, that's actually like we didn't even realize, but we actually had known of each other and passed each other many times because we went to the same high school.
And like,
we were literally 1 year apart from each other.
So wild. And it had to be Craigslist that brought us together. How
Craigslist. Great. Oh, Craigslist. It's got some unknown. You know, Craigslist is one
unknown
of those
treasures.
Some unknown treasures. You never know what you're gonna get from Craigslist, but sometimes it's not always bad.
Cars, friends. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Trauma. You know.
Many things. Many things.
Many things.
The wonderful world of Craigslist.
Yes. But ever since then, you know, like it was not only the fact that we were roommates, but the fact that upon multiple of conversations we've had with each other, we just instantly connected. And I knew that like Viv is someone that I'm gonna have close to me in my life just because of like the head you have on your shoulder, you know. It's a good one.
You like my large head?
I love your large head. What are you talking about?
And I say that like I have like a giant.
You don't, but I mean, if you want to say it's large, girl, it's large, and I love it.
My head is loved.
It's absolutely loved. She has a beautiful, cute face. By the way, because you guys can't see her, so I'm going to describe her to you. Viviana is very cute.
Schmidt.
Right, yeah. But anyways, so the reason why I wanted to bring you onto this show and like have a whole conversation with you is just because, like I said, we've had multiple amazing conversations. I think you have such a great head on your shoulder, which obviously it took time for you to get to this place. But I really admire the way that you handle yourself in the relationships that I've known you to be in.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. So I, always say this. I'm like taking notes, because you really, there's a lot of things that I've like, I don't know, like I've had like an eye-opening moment from just seeing the way that you've handled a situation or things that we've talked about. It's really helped me in my own personal journey in relationships. One of the big things that I like to say is that, I think you're really bold, and I fuck with that.
Yes, 100%.
You're very bold.
No filter. Really bold. Just really say what's on my mind.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Yeah. Why not?
And it definitely hasn't always been that way. I think as the confidence level and as the amount of self-love and self-worth that I do have has played into that, because it definitely wasn't always like all confidence,
right?
And all, I know what I want and I'm so sure of myself. It's been a journey to get to where I am, but yeah, definitely bold.
Yeah.
Sometimes to a fault.
No, well, if to some people it could be a fault, but it's all, like you said, a journey and lessons that are learned. So before we get into the topic, and the topic of this episode being engaging in friends with benefits and situations of sorts, and having situationships and all of these lovely things. We're about to get into all of that. But before we get into that, honestly, I just wanted to know, like, how's your love life been? Like, how you doing? Like, how's the love department going?
It is, it's going.
Yeah.
It's going.
Oh, I know.
Because of work solely. Not really on the dating apps or anything as of now, just because I was really, really focused on work and achieving things on that aspect.
Right.
But there is a fella.
A fella,
yeah, and he is just moved out to Cali. He's all the way from Tennessee. We can reference him as a Tennessee guy, Tennessee boy. Yeah, straight out of Nashville.
Oh my goodness.
Got that cute southern twang.
That accent. Girl.
Yes.
She's having a good time right now.
But
he's having more fun than I am. I'll say that for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm
living vicariously through you. I really am. You and many other people. You're just one of them. But
things
my favorite is you.
Because of the boldness, I'm sure. But no, it's
damn. I should do that one day.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna add that to my list.
I'm gonna add that to the list.
I'm gonna be on that.
Just like look at him and then grab his face and just go for it.
Been some hot and heavy moments. There's been some pretty sweet, almost kind of too good to be true moments. But no, I like him a lot.
That's good to hear. And things are going well.
Yeah, it's
obviously
slowly developing.
Somehow, by miracle of God, things have not like
gone off the rails.
I mean, I won't give him too much of a benefit though of a doubt yet.
I'm still in the mindset of like it kind of seems too good to be true.
Right.
And I hate to be that way, but I've been open with him as far as that too.
It's still like,
but it's early.
Yeah,
so.
it's smart to like protect yourself and your emotions at this point because there's nothing concrete, like super concrete yet.
As exciting as something new is, it's always. I mean, like I'm more so in order to keep myself in the mindset of just enjoying the moment. It's just kind of like, learning about him learning about me. It's been really like just kind of taking it steady, not really jumping into something or rushing it. Yeah, because I definitely have been the type to do that in the past So I think that once we get to the point like where we start inserting them into all these different scenarios and all these different moments that we want to have with them, we start to set these expectations. And sometimes those expectations are unrealistic.
Oh yeah.
Almost because you're still learning about this person.
Yeah,
you're
you
still
don't know them fully.
Yeah,
So
and so
how
it's
do you
kind of
know?
like you need to stay level, and that's kind of why I think that it's a good thing that we've been really, like, him and I have been really, really openly communicative and just
Which is rare.
I mean, there's moments where like I do start to, like, my mind does start to wander, and it's kind of like I have to pull myself back down to earth, because I mean, naturally as humans we do that. But no, it's been good, and it's fun, and it's been a lot of fun.
I bet. Oh, I know.
There's been a lot of hot and heavy moments that have definitely made it entertaining. So there's also that.
You're enjoying yourself.
Yes,
You're
very much
exploring
so.
and that's good. That's really good. I think for me personally, it's just been like this really interesting thing, because you know how I was telling you about the last person I like went out with or whatever that I was like into.
Yeah.
And you know, like nothing really went anywhere with him, but I think something that I still was able to get out of that whole experience was this realization that I have kind of been in a bit of denial as far as like my readiness and willingness to like want to connect and like have relationships with guys. The thing that I took out of this was the realization that I actually am actually ready to like connect with a guy that I'm interested in, connect again and be in a relationship and do all of those things. Because for a while, like I feel like I've been single for such a long time that I kind of forgot what it feels like to get excited, have that kind of connection, get excited, get ready, get dressed up, and like, you know, think and have these like feelings of like, oh, the possibilities, you know. It was nice for the moment that it lasted for. Which was not so long, unfortunately, but still, like, what I'm getting from this is basically this new mindset that like I am actually ready to really date. And maybe it was a good idea or the good reason that like this didn't end up like going anywhere, because I still have this opportunity in my life right now at this age to be able to explore and date around and just see what's out there. Because like you said before, you talked about how, you know, there's so much of this world that we have yet to see. You know, so many towns, countries, states, cities that we've never been in, where there's somebody there.
So much more outside of Southern California.
Yes, that is just like untapped territory, you know, untapped potential. Why should I be sitting over here like getting all fussed up about one
all
dude?
Disappointed about one guy when there's an entire world.
So many out there.
Exactly.
Like, what am I doing? Just settling, or just like, you know? So, I mean, I almost got myself into a friends with benefits situation a few weeks back. Because I'm like, because of that whole realization as well, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I actually really want to like date around. I want to like date, but we're in a pandemic still, right?
Difficulty.
So that's a little bit difficult right now to just go out and just meet someone the regular, normal way. So I've had to stoop low. I say stoop low,
like
but
the way
there's
where
nothing
you're
wrong
sitting
with
like
it.
at a bar and you're like
Or like you're at like my ideal scenario is like I'm like at a house party or like at one of those like artsy like shows where like there's some shit going on. There's just all these people who are like listening to music and vibing out, and like I just like, you know, I see a guy whenever we engage in conversation
from across the room.
And we just start vibing and shit. That's the kind of scenario that I'm like looking for, that I'm like so excited to get myself into multiple times. Maybe he's like a painter or something. I'm just like, oh wow. I really like what you did here.
There's so
Tell
much
me about
depth.
it. There's so much
depth. I cannot.
But anyways, like I can't get those moments right now because we're in a pandemic. So I've had to resort in online dating. So I'm back on the apps. I'm on Tinder, just Tinder only. And
I feel like we should kind of touch on that a little bit, because I feel like there's a lot of negativity that's paired with
true, because I did
apps.
just say stoop low, which it's not a low. I think it works for certain people, but I really honestly doubt it's gonna work for me. But I'm still open, right?
There's still a percent. I mean, the majority of it is just hookups, and
which is nothing wrong with that.
People that just don't want the depth, don't want the connection, don't
Yeah,
want the vulnerability, and that's not a bad thing. But I do feel like that there is a small percentage, and the hope that I have comes from
Just that smidge.
this smidge of hope.
Yeah.
Comes from my brother's relationship with his girlfriend, because they actually did meet on Tinder.
Back when Tinder was like, you could actually take it seriously though.
Yeah,
that too. But
because they've been together for like 2 or 3 years now, and
yeah.
they're adorable.
Yeah.
So that's where that smidge of hope comes from.
They give me hope. They really do. And I've like talked to other friends about it too. Like I know some other people who have met through like Tinder actually, and are in full blown relationships, engaged, or even married. There's a few that are married now at this point.
And I feel like there might even be like a shift when it comes to online dating, because
especially
of the
now.
fact that we're
especially
living in the world that we're living in and going through a whole pandemic.
I know.
So I feel like that it's not going to be as taboo.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't think it is at all. I think it's definitely out in the open. People talk about it so much more openly, which I'm happy about that. It's just that, like, all in all though, like, if I'm gonna be really honest, like, I'm on the app right now and it's like garbage.
It is straight up trash.
It's trash. Like, I don't feel any motivation to see the majority of these people. Ooh. They don't make much of an effort, but I mean, I'm still just keeping it just because it's one possibility out of,
it's an option.
Yeah, one option. Like, you never know, right? You're seeing what's out there, so I keep it open to possibilities. So that's that, and it kind of has given me a little bit of like a way to kind of practice a little bit the way like I want to communicate to people a little differently than I have before in the past too.
Yeah.
But with like the whole dating app situation, right? Like, I almost got myself into a friends with benefits situation with a guy. Juicy. Yes, girl. Not even that juicy, because it didn't actually end up happening. But when I did encounter the moment, I was definitely thinking to myself, like, should I? Like, should I not? Like, what are my reservations? Like, I don't want to go about this like the wrong way. Like, I really want to.
We just question everything.
Yeah,
really
you question everything. You question the reason why you would want to do it. Like, I mean, obviously, like, don't engage in a friends with benefits situation if the person isn't like freaking hot.
Probably rule number 1 in friends with benefits, like, you need to be good looking.
Number 1, like, probably like the main rule is like, you have to be good looking.
Because if I don't like what I'm working with,
then like, what's the point?
It's
because
just
obviously
it's
there's
not
not
gonna
gonna be
work.
like substance in it.
Being attracted to somebody is really important. You keep that separation between it becoming something more like, oh, I'm starting to have feelings for this person, rather than I'm just here to hook up. I'm just here to keep this casual. I'm just here to get what I came for, and then that's it. Yeah,
and have a good time in the middle of it. So yeah, that basically brings us to our main topic of this podcast, and that is what your thoughts are on friends with benefits, which we've already been discussing, you know, because when I was in that situation, I was just like, what would Viviana do in that situation? Because I know she's pretty good at it.
Is that like
what would Viviana
what would
do?
she do? What would I do?
Yeah, like, how do we feel about it, you know? And not only just like, you know, should we engage, should we not, how should we go about it, but like, how should we, if we're going to go about it, how should we go about it in a way where, as a woman, you know, we are still holding on to our worth and not sacrificing that shit just because we're messing around with a dude that we're interested in.
Yeah.
We don't want to put too much of ourselves into it. Like, how do we keep, because I feel like you do a really good job if you're going to engage in those kinds of things with somebody, you know how to really do a good job of holding on to your value and not letting that person treat you a certain way or disrespect you just because what you guys are engaging in is just like,
we're not here for the bullshit.
yes, basically.
I mean, bottom line. So I think there's a really big difference between recent friends of benefits situations that I've had myself in
Past.
versus the past friends of benefits relationships I've had myself in. So, I mean, a lot of it has to do with your self-confidence and where you are as far as where you view your self-worth, or where, I mean, all around your mindset is on yourself. I mean, going into it now, I've never been someone who's judged, you know, somebody who wants to go into a friends of benefit situation. If that's what floats your boat, if that's what you want to do, if you want to
Especially
explore,
a woman, right?
Yeah.
Because there's already too much pressure on us to be and act a certain way.
I mean, society
Live your life.
paints
Why
this
not?
picture. Yeah, like, I mean, society paints this picture that we are supposed to, you know, you graduate from high school, you go to college, you meet your college sweetheart, you get married, you get your job, you have kids, and I feel like that for some people it might work, but for other people it's just like it's just not the business.
Yeah.
And people just need to start being a little bit more okay with the fact that that's not always how life goes.
Yeah.
And so
We all have
in
a different
that-
path.
Exactly. And in that, I feel like as a women, we're like brought up with these ideas of what we're supposed to be versus encouraged to explore who we want to be. So I definitely think that you need to let go of worrying about other people's opinions. Like, if you want to sleep around, sleep around.
Yeah.
If you're single, you want to explore yourself, you want to explore your sexuality, you want to just do what you want to do, go for it.
Yeah. Like,
Because
why can't you have that chance to do that?
if men can do it,
Right.
women can do it.
Right?
There's really,
Preach, girl, preach.
Bottom line, it's just really like that's how it is. If you
And
wanna
there
do
shouldn't
it,
be
then
any
do it.
shame or like
No.
taboo in it. Like, and there shouldn't be any need or necessity to like look at the woman as like a slut or a hoe or whatever, because she just wants to figure herself out sexually if that's what she wants to do.
Exactly. In the aspect of having a roster, you know, you got your options.
You have to have the options.
I mean,
right?
I've had a roster in the past.
I know
like
you have.
you just
I've tried to, but I get too like, I don't know. I just get too in my head. I can't handle it. I can't handle talking to too many people. You do it so well. I'm trying.
But again, you know, it's for some people, it's not for other
Right.
people. But it's okay. You know, you're making these memories. You're having these experiences. You're exploring yourself. You're finding what it is that you don't like, finding what it is that you do like, and that is okay to do.
Yeah.
You know, you do what makes you happy, as cliche as that sound. It's difficult enough to really know what it is that makes you happy, but in order to hold on to that and actually go after that, even while you have the outside world kind of judging you a little bit because of it or how you're going about it.
Right. Because people are always going to feel and think some kind of way about your
Yeah.
business.
And in reality,
when you,
I mean,
especially when you're really doing you and you're not like giving a fuck what other people are thinking.
it's almost like people,
It upsets people
Yeah.
so much that they feel the need to say something.
right,
and
because
have
you're
some kind
being
of
bold in
opinion
the way
and
that you're
putting
living
you
your
down.
life.
Right.
Exactly. But
To get past that is difficult, but I admire every single person that does.
Yeah, and when
sometimes I
you-
have my moments, but others.
yeah, I feel like we all do, but we're human. I mean,
Yeah.
we get to those points where it's just like, oh wow, like, am I really,
Yeah.
acting like a slut right now? But at the same time, honestly, it's just kind of like, we can't compare ourselves to others. You know,
Right.
You are who you are. You live your life how you want to live your life. It's your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Who gives a fuck what other people think?
Absolutely.
But with that being said, being in a successful friends of benefit
Right.
situation, I would say, it definitely has a lot to do with your mindset and being able to stay in the mindset of not, you know, catching yourself slipping or thinking that it's going to be something more than
Or
it
that
is.
you're going to change his mind. or
Exactly, because we
all
do that
those
all
things,
the
yeah.
time. We go into these situations like, he tells you right out the gate that
He doesn't want anything
it is what it
serious.
is,
Right, yeah.
and that's all he wants out of it, and you agree with it in the time because you want to be with this person.
Yeah.
But later on down the line, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to change his mind. I'm going to sway him into thinking that he's going to want to be with me.
Yeah.
So being in, not the most recent one that I was in, but the one prior to that, I was kind of at a halfway point where I was still at a point in my life where I was kind of exploring myself and achieving this level of self-confidence and achieving this level of recognizing my self-worth, that it was still a little rocky.
Right.
I mean, I would catch myself slipping. I mean, you were a witness to the vast majority of it.
I knew what was happening on the background.
There was, I mean, I feel like you had a lot of involvement in that, and you kind of
I
saw.
orchestrated it. I helped you out.
Oh, you 100% orchestrated. Are you kidding me? We really just. Okay, so August of 2016, we were planning the house party of all house parties. I think to this day, it's probably one of the greatest nights.
Probably the greatest party. One of the best parties I've ever been to. Was
Yeah.
the one that I threw for myself. What?
Oh, the birthday party.
The birthday party.
It looked so good.
Oh my god, it was a dream, dude.
The decor was
You
just
guys
on
really
point.
came through for me.
You know, it
especially
really
you.
just made me consider planning parties.
Dude, you killed that shit. You really helped me out. Like, that shit was so good. And I'm a little bit sad because, like, I really didn't enjoy all of the amenities that I had provided because I had a motive. And
I think we both had some.
we had a
motives
motive,
that
yes.
evening.
And, I was very drunk. I got very turned. And, the majority of it I can barely even remember anymore. And there was so much and so many people that I invited that I wanted to like socialize with that I didn't even get a chance to. But at the same time, it is still the best party I've ever been to.
It was literally that night was just amazing.
We killed that shit.
It was
We really
amazing.
did.
We really did. It was so fantastic.
Beautiful. I don't know how we're gonna top that one.
I don't. We might.
Think we could.
I think we
could. We just need a spot.
Vegas.
Ooh.
100%.
I need to. Yeah. My last Vegas thing was like not the best experience. So
Ooh.
I definitely need to get back to Vegas and redo that.
We'll fix that.
Yeah.
We'll fix that for sure. So anyways, this party, we definitely orchestrated several things that we wanted to make happen.
Yeah.
And I think this, one of the most memorable things was orchestrating that Friends of Benefits situation.
Right, getting that off the ground. I thought you were gonna talk about my tits at the end of the night, but it's fine.
Oh, we'll get to that.
No, I'm just
No, we'll get to that.
The best night was
We
when
will get to that.
just let it out.
No, anyway.
Just kidding. I
No,
didn't
no.
let it out.
That-
but it was
no,
definitely
it was there.
It was there.
It was there. There was a difference from the
sparkly-
lack of sparkly pasties that
gone.
was just no longer there. Oh, it was so interesting. Okay, so there was this guy, I guess, that I had been into for a while. Also went to high
mutual.
school.
Yeah.
Also went to high school with us.
Yeah.
Mutual friend. But yeah, and I feel like this was probably the first night where that boldness was starting to seep through.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, like, he literally walked through the door, and the second you introduced me to him, I was like, you know what? Let's get some drinks in you. We're gonna do this.
It's better in my.
I'm literally, I know what I came for
I got a
tonight.
motif.
And, I mean, I feel like the rest of the night was history. Like, we...
Pretty much.
Yeah. And then...
It's all a blur, but it was a good night.
It was definitely a blur.
I got some video too.
Oh,
I remember.
Video, photo, there was a lot
There's a
going
lot
on
of
that night.
everything,
A lot
yes.
going on that night.
Yeah.
So the night progresses, and we are both out to achieve that in which we had planned. So I'm hanging out in my room with, Friends with Benefits guy
Yeah.
in this scenario. And you bust into my room.
I do.
And now let me just paint this picture because everybody's listening in and there's obviously, no photo documentation at the moment that I can provide. But you had this really cute fit going on.
Mm-hmm. Oh man,
part
really
of
like that outfit.
Part of that outfit was this really gorgeous white lace teddy or bodysuit, and
bodysuit.
Underneath said bodysuit were these little silver sparkly pasties.
Yeah.
And you bust into my room, and I realized that you are no longer wearing those pasties.
Yes.
And you said, "You will never guess what happened." So I immediately lose my shit and start laughing because I automatically knew what had happened already because the pasties were no longer in the picture.
You put two photos together, the picture of the beginning of the night and the picture of that current moment.
Exactly.
And you asked the people looking what has changed, what is
the
missing.
greatest part of this was you were so excited to tell me about this that you actually kicked
that
guy out of my room.
I said good night.
You said good night and you closed the door in his face.
I gotta talk to Viviana.
Literally, it was the funniest shit I have ever experienced. It was so great.
I don't even remember myself doing that, which is crazy.
Yes, it was
I remember it a little bit, but like
it's spotty.
It's spotty. Everything is very spotty, and it's just funny when you tell me every time because I'm just like, yo, I did not even realize. I don't remember seeing him in the room. I don't remember him at all.
You acknowledged that he was there, and you literally kicked him out of the room.
I said, "Hey, what's up, so? Anyways, you guys, I'll see you later. Okay, great party, thanks."
And you know, I never asked him if he remembered that because I know at that point in the night I mean, not sober. Let's not bullshit. I wasn't sober yet, but I wasn't as drunk as I was earlier that evening, and I'm curious to know if he even remembers.
I wonder. You should ask him sometime, like, hey,
I'm just randomly hit him up and be like, hey,
I just like kicked you out.
Do you remember that? She closed my door in your face.
Yeah. He's like, well, I just want to say good night. Boom.
Bye. Anyways, that was the start of that whole situation.
Yeah.
One thing that I do want to mention, I thought it was so funny. So, obviously we started hooking up, and after the first time, I remember chilling there with him, and he looked at me, automatically assumed that I was catching feelings, or that I was on another level, or that I assumed that this was going to go a whole different direction.
Right.
And so, I got the pep talk talking about, okay, just so you know, that's not where this is headed. I just want to make it clarified to you, that this isn't what it's going to happen.
Right.
And the ironic thing about that is that we had both talked that day, and we're like, yeah, it's probably just going to be like a summer fling. Which was so funny because
that
it did
shit
not
lasted for like 2 years.
Literally lasted for like 2 years. But yeah, so he literally gave me this whole rundown of how it was gonna go, and I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute,
hold the fuck up.
So I had to stop that because I was like, okay, wait, the fact that he assumed that that's where I was gonna take it, when before the night that we had even started talking to each other happened, I already knew what my objective was.
Yeah, you had an objective.
I knew what I wanted out of it,
yes.
And I was going to get it.
Your role was very clear.
Like,
you were very in your place already.
I'm like, no, like, I'm starting here. This is what I want. As soon as I get it, I'm solid. Let's move on.
So for him to be like, hey, I'm not really looking for anything more.
Or to like assume right off the, right off the bat that that's what I want. I was like, wait. Let's correct this because no.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think as it progressed, just because he's super cool, obviously.
Yeah.
So like we vibed and there's a lot in common there. But in that process of me like working through the whole confidence level within myself, I was also dealing with this friends with benefits situation. So you were a witness to a lot of the times where I did catch myself slipping. And I was like, wait a second. And I had to go back and channel that mindset that I was in that day that we had that conversation, that he kind of brought that up. And I was like, okay, no.
Which, I'm not even going to like fully like put the whole blame on you either, because I think there was mixed signals that were being sent too that would just throw you in a loop.
Yeah, and then like at the same time, I think that there was a lot of it at the time, especially in earlier moments was my overthinking. And like giving things context that didn't even really need it.
Yeah. Ooh.
And that's something
that
I think I used to do a lot, was like, okay, I would have this like a text or a moment, and I would read into it so much when
or
it
like
really
song,
didn't even
being sent, and you're like, oh, like,
and
why
it
is
just
this person sending me this song?
Exactly.
Listening to the lyrics, like,
and then you start to, and I feel like a lot of exactly. I feel like a lot of girls fall into that. It's kind of like you start to overanalyze, and it just kind of sends you down a rabbit hole of like, okay, wait, what does this mean? And in all reality, it was just a message. It was just a moment. It was just a song. It
for
wasn't
that time.
Yeah. It's like, hey, I'm just gonna say this, or hey, I'm gonna send you this. Like, it wasn't even anything super crazy. And like, as I was developing, as I was becoming more confident in who I am and what I wanted, and becoming more bold, and reaching the level that I'm at now, there was like a huge difference from where I was in the mindset that I was in when it started versus where I was in the mindset that I was in when things kind of ended.
Yeah, and kind of fizzed out.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah, basically fizzled out.
That's basically how it ended.
Yeah.
I was definitely expecting more, just based off of the stuff that he would say and his energy towards you, and
right, and like
the things that you guys would do outside of just what it means to be friends with benefits, right? I feel like there was a little bit more.
And I think
benefits.
The coolest thing about the situation was the fact that like we were so cool with each other that we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Like talk about where we were at. And it wasn't like it was something that happened like all the time. Like we weren't constantly talking about where we were at. We weren't constantly like, okay, this is where I'm at, this is where you're at, this is where we are. Like it was literally like, I mean, that we would go, I don't know, weeks, sometimes months even, of just not even talking to each other. And then we would just, he would hit me up, I would hit him up, and then it would just, like no time had passed, and then like we would get what we wanted out of it, and then that was it. But because of where I think he was at, I don't know, and because of where I was at, it was really nice to be able to, we almost got to this level of like being able to connect on an emotional level and get that sort of fulfillment within it too. But
which is why I always felt like, oh, okay, like this might actually go somewhere deeper.
Right, but at the same time I liked it because we were able to do that, but it didn't have to be anything more. Which
like that became the benefit.
That was part of it. Obviously there was other benefits, but we won't put those on blast.
Right, we don't gotta get into those details.
Yeah, no, it was great. I liked the fact that we could kind of get that fulfillment out of it and it not be anything crazy.
Yeah, bigger than what it was.
And like neither one of us got hurt in the process. Neither one of us have, I mean, as far as on my end, let me clarify. I don't have any like ill will or like, I don't hate him. He's actually like one of the coolest people I know.
Right.
I mean, to this day, still one of the coolest people I know.
Yeah.
So, but no, I just thought it was like a really, really interesting situation and dynamic, and just the irony of the fact that we both were like, yeah, no, summer thing.
Yeah. It was not a summer thing.
2 years later.
It was like, oh, what are you guys?
Yeah, no.
At this point, like, you guys are still doing the same old thing that you've been doing?
No, but
really?
You know what? Like, it worked.
It worked. Yeah, and I think...
And it was something else that kind of helped me become more bold and confident and know what I want.
You took a lot out of that. You learned a lot from that situation that you're in with him. And I just want to know, like, you were able to, like, keep yourself in a certain place without getting too devoted or too attached or whatever. And, like, what would you say kept you kind of strong, in a sense? Kept you, like, brought you back and, like, kept you sane, without, like, going off or doing or saying something that would have just ruined it all, right?
Early on, when I would catch myself slipping or something like that, like, I would have a conversation with you, and then it would kind of remind me, oh wait, I'm in this, and I should be in this mindset of friends with benefits. That's all I should, because if I let myself take this and run with it, if I let myself overthink, if I let myself overanalyze, it's going to
like a fool.
Exactly, and I'm going to end up getting myself hurt.
Yeah, and that's where now you're putting yourself at like
and I really wanted
place.
to just explore. I really wanted to, just do me, but at the same time kind of get the fulfillment that I needed
right and have fun, and
and
you are a single person,
exactly,
like you said, exploring and doing all those things, like in those kinds of areas as far as like your sexuality was concerned. You wanted to explore that, and this was something that you felt comfortable enough to do that with, which I think is one of the reasons why I find a friends with benefits situation kind of cool, because you don't have to like be going all over the place and just like sleeping around with like all these different people.
There really wasn't any pressure. That was something that I liked about it, was just the fact that there wasn't any pressure, like,
and you're comfortable with this person. It's like, if I want to do something or try something out, or explore yourself in that way, like
I was still able to like I was still able, like, we had that like comfort level of being able to just,
and I feel like it you kind of built it with him as time went on, but the initial chemistry was there for you to like, I guess, keep going back for more.
Right, exactly.
Like, he was meeting you and satisfying you in all the places you needed
at the time.
So everything was cool, and you developed like a dope ass friendship with him as well. Without getting attached or feeling some type of way, which is really cool, because I know it's really difficult for a lot of women out here.
I feel like it's not an easy situation to be in, especially if you do allow yourself to not just be in the mindset of enjoying the moment. But there's a lot of good that came from that. And then the friends of benefits situation that happened after that,
which was so interesting.
Oh, the dynamic of this.
That one you really didn't take any bullshit.
No.
I like to call him your boy toy.
Basically.
Because you really let him know how you felt whenever you felt. No filter, no nothing.
I also feel
like if you want to walk out the door, you can walk out the door. But if you're going to be here and give me what I want.
It's either like you're in it or you're not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and play games. Like, you just...
Yeah. And he had a lot of... And it's not like you didn't like him or whatever. I felt like there was a lot about him that you also really enjoyed and liked.
Yeah.
But you were definitely in this place where it was like...
And see, the thing
is, if you don't show and prove to me
yeah.
why I should be with you fully,
then
it's
no
not going to
happen.
We could still, mess around or whatever, but we're just going to keep it to that. Like, that's some boss ass shit, dude. That is some boss ass shit.
I have to say,
that's how, like, men be walking around. That's, like, big dick energy right there.
Yes. I had, yeah.
You're like, tell 100%. Me why I should be in a relationship with you.
Like, no, my thing is that, like, and I feel like a lot of guys are doing this nowadays. It's like, they want the girlfriend perks. They want you to be there in those ways as if you guys are dating. They just don't want to give you the label. And that, to me, is such bullshit, because I don't like double standards.
Yeah.
And if there's no, like, mutual agreement as to what it is that you guys are, then it should either be talked about, or you shouldn't be wasting your time with that person. Like, to me, it's like, yeah, if you don't want a label, that's fine. Like I said, do what makes you happy, explore what you want to explore, whatever. But as a guy, you can't expect a girl to be delivering on all these things and being there as your girlfriend when you're not committing to her.
Yes, and I feel like that's another good point to bring out. If you're going to engage in, like, a friends with benefits situation, don't be giving girlfriend perks.
No, hell no.
Keep it to exactly what it is in the, like friends that you've agreed upon with each other.
If you allow yourself to be vulnerable in those ways and, like, start giving that vibe, they're gonna want it continuously.
They're gonna take it, and they're gonna take
and then
more
they're gonna
and more,
expect
and
it.
still say, no, you're not my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Even though I'm treating you like my girlfriend.
No.
You're still not
and that's kind of
like,
what this last situation for me was. It was, I did end up giving the girlfriend perks, and then all of a sudden he kind of stopped giving the boyfriend perks, and he kind of decided, well, I don't know if I'm ready for all that yet, but I want to keep you around. And I was like, no, I'm not going to be doing that. So I pulled back and I stopped doing what I was doing as far as giving those kind of,
because you realized this was an unbalanced, uneven like situation. Like, we're supposed to be, getting and giving and taking something out of this, right? These benefits, right? That we're calling as benefits, and so now
you're getting the only benefit.
You're the only one who's benefiting.
Yeah.
And I'm over here like giving so much. It's uneven, it's unbalanced.
To me, if there's no reciprocation, then I'm not going to be a part of it.
Right. And you're just like, you're sitting here and you're like, no, I'm not going to do that. And I think that in itself, you having the ability to cut it off and be like, you know what, no more. I'm taking back whatever it is that I was doing for you.
Right.
Is how you're grown to like build that self-worth. Like, you know your worth. You're like, I know how I should be appreciated and how I want to be treated. And if you're not going to treat me the way that I expect, then I'm not going to do anything for you.
Exactly. I have recently come to terms with the fact that I am kind of low-key a hopeless romantic.
Okay. That's
I used to hate that about myself because I used to think it was so cheesy. And I was like, no, like, you can't be that way. The world is just not like that. And I'm like, no, I want that. And so
I think it's because I love rom-coms. Like, I watch so many romantic films.
That is my problem.
And it's just built up a lot of these scenarios in my head.
A lot of these unrealistic things that I am like, yes, I want that.
I mean, earlier in the episode, I was already talking about a situation that I hope to find myself in once the pandemic is open.
The artist at the art show, and how to tell him that his painting has depth.
Yeah.
Like,
and then we just, like, we vibe.
You vibe, and you hit it off, and, like...
It's so
Speaking
cinematic.
Of rom-coms, I feel like my recent living situation was basically that.
Oh, it really was that.
Like, it could have been its own, like, movie.
It really could have.
The last Friends with Benefits situation that I had, him and I actually lived together.
Yeah, for like a whole year, right?
Yeah. Like, we were literally playing house for like a year. Literally.
Crazy.
It was wild. It was wild. I don't know. It's crazy. But also, a lot of learning lessons there.
I bet.
There was literally a lot. So, like, a lot of things worked with us, but... Bottom line, I didn't take the bullshit, and he wasn't sure what it was that he wanted anymore. Yeah, so I was like, I'm good.
That's usually the case, and that's why it's so frustrating for us, and why we end up as women just like getting ourselves into situations that just frustrate and annoy and confuse the hell out of us. We mess around with people who don't know what the fuck they want.
Yeah.
And not even, like, because, like, don't get me wrong, because I don't even know if I know fully. I don't think I know what the fuck I want either. But are not willing to be, like, honest and, like, open and, like, patient and about it. Figuring out. Or they're being, like, really selfish about it, you know?
Yeah. Like, I mean, 100%. I mean, this situation ended with, basically, I mean, he wanted to have his cake and eat it, too. Like, he wanted to keep me around, but he still wanted to be able to explore other women. And it's kind of like, again, I'm never against you exploring what you want to explore, but I'm not going to be giving you, you know, 110%. And staying committed and not exploring myself.
Yeah.
Or going and, you know...
Because, like, he would get jealous, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like, there would be scenarios where, like, you know, he would be going out with a girl, or, you know, he would say, you know what, I don't think I'm ready for anything too serious. Like, you know, we'll just keep it on a friends with benefits level. And I'm like, all right, cool. And I'm like, if that's what you want to be, that's what we're going to be. Yeah. And then, you know, he would go out and, you know, go see some other girl, or have his fun or whatever. And then it would come down to me going on a date or having my fun. I stopped, obviously, putting in what I was putting in. I'm not going to give you 110% if I'm not going to get the reciprocation of it. So he would go out and he would go on his dates or whatever, or, like, have his girls over and whatnot, doing what he was doing. And then I would go out on a date or go and do my thing. And all of a sudden, it was the problem.
I get jealous. All of a sudden now he doesn't want friends
all
with
of a
benefits.
sudden, the friends with benefits is not okay because that means that somebody else is getting to experience me, and he's not the only one that gets to. So
What
it just it just became issues, and I think that's where the savagery really came in.
Yeah.
And the fact that I literally was just like, I'm not gonna deal with the bullshit.
Right.
If you want to be committed, then let me know and we'll try it out. We'll see what happens.
Right,
but if you don't, I'm not gonna sit here with this double standard. Like, yeah, you get to go have your fun, but I can't go have mine.
Absolutely. And I just want to add just how interesting it was to hear the moment you were like not taking bullshit. His ass really did put in a whole lot of effort out of nowhere.
There was
started taking you out. And started like, you know.
Oh, like planning the weekends away. Like, it was just really, really different.
Pampering you and just like, you know, like spoiling you. I was like, ooh,
he bought me shoes and a bag. Like, it was, I don't know.
He was really trying to prove something.
He tried
Because it wasn't consistent.
Yeah, but then he realized that he wasn't ready for something like that, or to be committed, because he was still, I mean, he's trying to figure himself out.
Right, of course, which is
but again,
fine.
To me, in my opinion, I mean, it's just, there's no ill will. There's no negativity. You
just have to let that relationship go, that connection go.
Basically. Like, I'm not going to sit here and give myself and not receive reciprocation. Bottom line.
Yeah.
So,
your standards, you have boundaries, like all of these things. This is exactly how I feel like we as women should be moving. And look at you now. Like, I feel like you're in a much better not even situation. You're experiencing, you're connecting with someone who is meeting things for you more than the last few.
Exceeding expectations.
Yes.
But again, I feel like it's because I'm not setting those expectations in my mind.
Well, that's good. Yes.
Like, it's more so just really, really trying to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So.
And just experience this person for who they are and all of that. Mm-hmm. Which is really nice. And I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will let you know if anything progresses. But
oh, absolutely. You have to keep me posted. Like, I'm telling you, like, I live vicariously through you and several other people, because ain't shit happening in my life. But
that's like, oh god, yeah, no, it's just fun right now.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. And you know, no matter what happens with this situation, I feel like, you know, you will approach it the same way you have been with the other ones.
Yeah.
You will keep it moving, and you will still, you know, have your head up high and, you know, ready to explore the next situation that comes to you, or connection that you may have with someone. And
I mean, we're young. We're at a point in our lives where that's what we should be doing. Just exploring, finding out who we are.
Yeah.
Having fun.
Absolutely. That's where I'm at least. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Is just really give myself the time and opportunity to explore and to date around, because I don't really think I've given myself the chance to do that. It was like anytime I was interested in someone, whether it was mildly or not, whatever they had going on in their life, I would just jump right into it and just be like full head on, like, who cares what the possibilities could be, you know? And
that's not a bad mindset to be in, but it's just more so learning to control ourselves and the amount that we give.
Yes. Boom. Period. Yes. So, like you said, it's not a bad thing. And I'm not saying that it is. I just think personally it is not the route that I want to take, that I should take, because I think I see way more benefits from doing something else, like what I'm getting into now. Mm-hmm. So really, we made it to the end, and I'm so happy that we're finally able to do this.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me.
You know, like I've said before, and I'll say it time and time again, like, I like the way you approach your situations with men. So far, you have a lot of confidence. that you exude. And I think that's like a big point that I want people to take as well, is that, you know, you should really look at how certain people move when they move, and like they put themselves first, right?
Yeah.
And surround yourself with as many people like that as possible.
Yes, it is so important to surround yourself with like people that just encourage you and empower you and just remind you how amazing you are.
Yeah,
Because that really makes a difference.
Yeah.
For sure.
and I feel like you're definitely one of those people in my life, and why I was like, absolutely, let's do a podcast together. We could talk about almost anything and everything.
We've officially approached some power.
Yes, girl. Is it midnight? Where's my drink?
I know.
Where's my Brent ass? But we'll see. We'll see what the year has to offer.
Yes. To summarize, know yourself.
Yes.
Know your worth.
Absolutely.
Shouts to Drake.
Know yourself, for real. Yeah, know yourself, know your worth. Be smart. No, like, before you engage in that, I just feel like that's just the smart thing to do, is just to
Know what you want.
know who
Before
you are.
Yeah, know what you want. Know who you are.
Have standards.
Mm-hmm.
Keep yourself at like a place where
Don't set expectations. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy
have fun. Be young. Do what you gotta do. Explore as much as you possibly can.
it. Yes.
Yeah. But most importantly, have fun.
And don't worry about people's opinion.
Absolutely.
Who gives a
Oh my
fuck
gosh,
about what
yes,
anybody
that
thinks?
too. Yeah.
Just do what makes you
Do
happy.
you. Try as much as possible to not care what people have to say, because everyone's gonna have their opinion, but at the end of the day, like, you have to go along the path that is for you, and you decide what that is, right?
Exactly.
And you should
Don't let people choose it for you.
Yeah, you should let your life be about like exploring and stuff like that, and finding out who you are. And also in a relationship setting, you have to do that as well. It's important. I feel like it's good if you have a chance to, at least.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So where can the people find you if they're curious or they're interested in Viviana?
Is this where I'm supposed to like promote an
Yeah.
OnlyFans?
Well,
Or, like...
hey girl, if you want to put the OnlyFans out there, we can give that information as well. When that information comes out, let them know.
No.
Get you your fans.
I'm thinking the only risque photos that are being taken at the moment are going to one person and one person.
Right.
So,
Some bonus photos.
yeah.
Right?
Oh God, I think my mom is going to listen to this. She's going to be like, risque photos.
Photos.
Sorry, Mom.
Tennessee boy.
Right? Yeah, no, I don't really have too big of a presence on social media. I don't really post a whole lot, but if you want to include my Instagram,
I'll put your Instagram in the information place, wherever it's at. So if you guys are looking for Viviana, you can find her at Viviana _ If you're looking for her, this is where you can find her, right? You
Yeah,
know, hit her up, slide in the DMs. Let your homies know. If there's competition, you know, Mr. Tennessee boy can get some competition, you know?
maybe.
She's not taken yet, so she is
I'm
still
not.
out here on these streets.
Single as a motherfucking Pringle.
Hey, looking like a snack.
Oh my God.
Oh my
God. You respect my dad jokes. That's another thing.
Oh, absolutely. I'm here for all of it. All of it, even the really sarcastic.
Sarcasm. The sarcasm is huge.
That's my favorite, though. That's my favorite Viv joke. It's like the pointing out the
sarcasm.
obvious shit.
Pointing out the obvious, yeah, that's for sure.
But yeah, so you know, thanks guys for those of you who have listened all the way up until this point. Thanks. You guys can also follow me on all my socials to keep up with me. And, you know, just stay safe out there. And, yeah, until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.